Find a number that is 96 greater than its opposite. Okay, let's say I identify n as the number. How would you identify the number's opposite? Any ideas? Good. Negative n is the number's opposite. Okay, so far so good. And how would we do find a number that is? Just that sentence. Find a number that is. Find a number that is. Good. 96 larger than its opposite. Well, here's its opposite. How do I make it 96 larger than? Good. Find a number that is 96 larger than its opposite. Good deal. What do you want to do with this negative n here? Add it to the left, or both sides, I really should say. So if 2n is 96, then n has to be what? 48 looks like? 48. 48 indeed is 96 bigger than negative 48. That's number one. Number three. Find the number whose product with 9 is the same as its sum with 56. So x, let's try x. Find a number whose product with 9, how do I make this have a product with 9? 9x, good. Is the same as its sum with 56. How do I give it a sum with 56? Yeah. Yeah. So this is the number's sum with 56. This is the number's product with 9. So find a number whose product with 9 is the same as its sum with 56. So far so good? Subtract x and divide by 8, right? By the way, I just want to show you something since it's just the two of you. You know how I'm going to subtract x from both sides? On the left, doesn't that leave me 8x? And on the right, still leaves me 56. So what I did is I subtracted x, and instead of writing it, I just did it. That's called condensed form. I'm not sure if I've showed you that before. Is x 7 then? Good. 5 and 7, still some more number stuff. Here's number 5. 3 times a number decreased by 8 is the same as twice the number increased by 15. This one is pretty straightforward. And I'm writing it out because I'm going to show you something. That should say decreased. Sorry. Decreased by 8 is the same as twice the number. Increased by 15. All right, the reason I wrote this one out is some of these are almost like you can just take apart the sentence. 3 times a number made smaller by 8 is the same as twice the number increased by 15. Sometimes they're that straightforward. So, can we solve it? Why don't you guys try and solve it? I'm going to work it right here too, but try working it yourselves. Here's my equation so far. Did y'all come up with 23? Subtract and 2n and add 8. 23 is correct. 7 is the last numeric example. The greater of two consecutive integers. All right, give me how you would indicate two consecutive integers. Nope, it's not consecutive odd or even, is it? It's just n. Well, it doesn't say sum yet. It just says, I just asked, give me two consecutive integers. So if one is n, the other is n plus 1. Now, look at the word problem for a minute. The larger of two consecutive integers is 15 more than twice the smaller. Which one of these is larger? N plus 1. In that there's no universe where this will not be true in the land of real numbers. So look at the description of the equation. The larger of two consecutive integers is. Okay? How can I write that? The larger of two consecutive integers is. Is. Good. Okay, so we've gotten the first half of the problem. 15 more than twice the smaller. Yes. So that's the 15 more than. Twice the smaller. I don't think you need me anymore. You guys are going to just teach yourselves. So, I'm going to subtract n so that I have n on the right. And I'm going to subtract 15 so I have an answer on the left. Okay, tell me now what the answers are. What are the integers? What's the first integer? Okay. And what's the second integer? Add a positive 1 to it. Good. It is very important that after you have found the answer to the variable within the equation that you use it to interpret the question itself. N is negative 14. That's great. That's the first integer. The second integer requires you to add a 1 to it. Okay, look at number 9. Tell me what information you are learning about Lyle and Cliff. Something about their shoe size maybe, or how many pizzas they can eat. What are we learning about our friends Lyle and Cliff? Yep. The number of shots. Lyle shot 3 times as many. Oh, there's another guy. There's Lyle, Cliff, and Kyle. Why would they give you a name that rhymes with another name? That's so confusing. Lyle shot 3 times as many as Cliff. Kyle shot 12 more than Cliff. Lyle and Kyle are referring back to who for their numbers? Good. If this is the guy we refer back to, we kind of know the least about, then we will use him as what I always call the base. Everything is based off of that. So how does Lyle relate to Cliff then? Yep. And how does Kyle relate to Cliff? Bravo. If Lyle and Kyle shot the same number of baskets, if Lyle and Kyle shot the same number of baskets, how many did each dude shoot? If this is the same as this, how can I convert that into an equation that will allow us to solve and get some data? Bravo, Jay. What I'm going to be able to do then is solve for C. That'll give me Cliff. Triple it. That'll give me Lyle. Use Cliff and add 12 to it. That'll give me Kyle. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 6 for our friend Cliff, right? You can't just give me this. If you give me this, I'm going to mark you wrong. I need to know, what did Cliff do? What did Lyle do? Based off of Cliff, what did Lyle do? Do I even need to solve for Kyle? Because they did the same thing, didn't they? So you can write it that way. I mean, sure, you can take the 6 and plug it in here, but you're going to find that 3 times 6 is the same as 6 plus 12 because the equation told us it was the same. Aha. Take a look at 11. (11) and 12 are particularly confusing for some folks, and there's just no way around it. The sum of two numbers is 15. So I want you to look at this for a minute. And this is just kind of something for you to see. The sum of two numbers is 15. Give me a number less than 15. 5. What must you add to 5 to give you 15? Describe for me the relationship of 15 and 5 with respect to 10. Okay? It's 10 more, right? To write that algebraically, if I were to tell you that one of the numbers is n, let's just say I said this number is n, and I don't know anything about this number. I just crawl out from under a rock. All I know is this, and that they're being added together. How can I use this data? This is n now, this isn't 5. How can I use this and this to identify that? And I know it seems tricky. 15 minus n. 15 minus n gives you the other number. Together, these two things added together gives you 15. So when you see the sum of two numbers is something, then one of them is a variable, the other one is the sum minus the first variable. Okay? Just for sake of argument, if I said the difference of two numbers
To the office, please.
is 15, one of them, and this is going to seem tricky, is n, but the other one is 15 plus n. Okay? This is critical for number 12. Not that we're doing number 12, but I just want you to see it. Okay? You're going to need this in number 12. So we're on number 11. The sum of two numbers is 15. 3 times one of the numbers. So the numbers are n and 15 minus n. 3 times one of the numbers. Do you want to pick this number to triple or this number to triple? Guess what? It doesn't matter. 3 times one of the numbers is 11 less than 5 times the other. Three times one of the numbers is 11 less than 5 times the other. 3n equals 45 minus 5n, right? Minus 11. Shall we collect like terms? 8n is, I added that over, okay? That's not 45, Mrs. Myers. How'd you guys let me do that? Try 75. Goodness gracious. 64? So what must n be? 8 times 8. So if that's true, then one of the numbers is 8. What's the other number? How do you find out what the other number is, Jay? Look again. That's not multiply. And you get? Well, what's n? Try again. 15 minus 8. 15 minus 8, honey. Yeah, 8's positive, not anything weird. Okay, this is very important that you remember. These tools here are what you're going to use when you find, just like the Kyle, Lyle, and Cliff scenario, when you find one value, this is how you solve for the other. The numbers are 8 and 7. Number 13. And actually, this is the last one. I know it's taken a while. This is our last one today. The lengths of the sides of a triangle are consecutive evens. I'm going to draw myself a triangle. So if they're consecutive evens, x, what's the next one going to be? What if they were odd? What would the next one be? Hey, look at you getting tricky over there. And what's the last one going to be? All right. Find the length of the longest side. Which one is the longest side of all three of these? Find the length of the longest side. If it is, so x plus 4 is 22 units shorter than the perimeter. Using the sides, how do I create perimeter? Add them, which looks like 3x plus 6. Would you agree with me? That's the perimeter. The largest is 11 shorter than, nope, 22 shorter than the perimeter. Can we do it from here? Yeah. Subtract x and add 16. What do you get? So if I subtract x and add 16, so is x 10, my friends? But that's not what they're asking for. If you give me 10, you're wrong. What are they asking for? And give me the answer to their question. Of which?
Of the longest side.
Which is now, knowing that x is 10, what's the length of the longest side? Try again. Look at your chart. We circled which one was the longest side. Which one's the longest side? X, x plus 2, or x plus 4? Okay, if x is 10, what's the longest side? X, x plus 2, yes. Plug in, CJ, that's a hiccup for you. You've got to take the data and reinterpret it to find what they're looking for. 14, they don't give us centimeters, feet, yards, so that'll work.